So thank you all for coming. That was not just like we rehearsed it. So with these kind of tunes, what we're doing is we're playing, we haven't really played together very much as a group. So with the jazz groups, you have these songs that you're kind of, in this case, I'm reimagining these old hymns and trying to find a new way to play them. And we're all just kind of listening very carefully to each other and playing off of each other and responding to each other. And it's just a real fun, joyful music to play because you're just, I had an experience where I went to Santiago, Chile, and I played in a jazz club with some of my colleagues from the university, and one by one, they all sat down, and it was all Chilean musicians. And by the end, it was just me with a bunch of musicians who I didn't speak the same language with. And we just communicated with music, and it was kind of like, wow, this is really cool. I should remember this moment right now, because that's a really cool thing. So this project of arranging these songs, it started because I was playing in my church, and my music director would always ask me to play for the offertories, and he would say, just bring something that's appropriate for an offertory. And I would always find some hymn to bring. And then one week, I just totally forgot to bring anything. I said, oh my gosh, I totally forgot I was supposed to play the offertory. And he said, well, just go improvise something then. And I improvised, and everybody liked it. And I was like, maybe I could actually make the little jazz versions of these songs. So this whole project was born that way. Okay, so I'm going to introduce all these players. It's my pleasure to let you know who you're listening to up here. So we have two brass players. On trumpet, you heard George Rabbi, some things he has done. He played in the Woody Herman Orchestra, which is a very, very, very famous orchestra. And his list of credits just goes on and on. Hank Jones, Rufus Reid, Mel Lewis, Rosemary Clooney. Once I was in my mom's kitchen, and we were listening to the Lady Gaga Tony Bennett CD, and I said, this trumpet player sounds good on this. So I grabbed it, and it was like, George. And I said to my mom, who plays trumpet on my CD again? And she grabbed my CD. George, who's playing trumpet with Lady Gaga? And she was like, oh my gosh, you play with Lady Gaga's trumpet player. So that's George Rabbi. Welcome, George Rabbi. And we have 3 University of the Arts students up here who are real pros. They're students, but they're totally professional, as you've probably already noticed. On trombone, we have Jason, who just did his senior recital just a couple weeks ago. So all these students play in like our top ensembles at the university. If you go online and look for a group called The Chronicles, you'll find some videos of his group playing, and they're just really amazing. And he's a real innovative. I love listening to him play because every take is like a different thing. So I just did a recording session with one of the school bands, and I think we did 3 takes, and I went home and listened to him, and like, well, he does something totally different every single time. He's like a real improviser who just hears and listens, and pleasure to play with him. You also heard on bass, definitely the person I played the most gigs with up here. We've probably done, I don't know, dozens and dozens and dozens of gigs together. And he is a real pleasure to play with. He is the heartbeat of the band. He plays with so much energy and so much fire. And what you need from a bass player is really good rhythm, really good time, and really good harmony stuff, but really good drive and really good groove. And he is that. He is the anchor. So probably, if I played a recording of this to the average person, they would say, oh, I hear a trumpet, I hear a piano. And probably the last instrument they would list would be, oh, there's a bass. They don't really notice the bass because it's at the very bottom, but it is the bass. It's the bass of the music. I'm listening, we're all probably all kind of honing in on what the bass is doing. And it's always so much fun to play with. Jason Fraticelli. And on drums, so we have our good friend Satchel. He is an amazing drummer, and he's also studying music business, recording. I did some recordings with the school ensemble, and he mixed them all for me and just did a great job. He's from Seattle, plays all over Philadelphia with lots of different groups, and just has a great feel, great time playing with him. Satchel Schwartz. And now you get to hear our vocalist, Shannon. She is a junior at the University of the Arts. I had her in Jazz Theory last year, and I always give them little creative composition projects to do. And she always turned in like the coolest things. I saved them. I was like, I need to save this project. Because they were humorous, but they were just brilliant. And like she was singing all the harmony parts, and it was like, that is so cool. So she does all kinds of gigs around Philadelphia. She's also studying music education. She wants to be a music teacher also. And I wrote a piece that was based on Langston Hughes poems, and I had the school band record it. And I was talking to the director of the band. I said, who should we get to sing this? And he said, we got to get Shannon, because he said she's a real pro. And she is. She's amazing. Shannon Jua. Yeah, so we're going to play 2 more songs, and you get to hear Shannon sing, which is going to be awesome. And then our friend Cornell's going to come up. He's going to play some piano, which is going to be amazing, and he's going to speak at that point. So we're going to do At the River, and then a song called His Eye is on the Sparrow. And both of these songs are just kind of reimaginings of what could these songs sound like if they were done in a jazz sort of style. So here we go.
Shall we get should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows come? Why should my heart be lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, my constant friend is He. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me.
So please welcome Cornell Fields.
Thank you for indulging me. I never played with those guys before. I did that on purpose. The poet Hans Christian Andersen said, "Where words fail, music speaks." And I know we just got finished playing jazz, but April is Jazz Appreciation Month. So this music we call jazz was developed in the early part of the 20th century in and around New Orleans. And during this period, the city's population was quite diverse with people of African, French, Caribbean, Italian, German, Mexican, American, and English descent. As these people groups interacted with one another, their music traditions mixed, and gradually this music that we call jazz emerged. It was a blend of ragtime, of marches, of blues, and other genres. The blues, as you may recall, was primarily developed in African American communities as a way to express a range of emotions, from a song about the pain of losing someone you love to the protest of social injustice. The blues gave voice to the voiceless. And while this new music called jazz was initially seen as morally corrupting and unrespectable, it was also a unifying social device for blacks and whites who lived their lives under God in this divided nation. Jazz afforded many young white musicians and fans a rare but sonically pleasing passageway to discover the richness and shared common humanity of black life. Make no mistake, discrimination and peril still existed in the South, but in the jazz community, musicians were somehow considered as equals. And to that end, jazz acted as a remedy to racism in America. In this way, jazz is a metaphor for democracy. It brought blacks and whites together to collaborate and socialize decades before court rulings and the civil rights movement made strides towards equality. Before the famed Jackie Robinson integrated baseball, jazz artists like pianist Teddy Wilson and vibraphonist Lionel Hampton were breaking cultural norms and making history by playing with Benny Goodman, an extremely popular white band leader and clarinetist. These types of pairings provided an avenue for racial harmony. Jazz encourages a spirit of community. It's a genre of music that beckons you to consider possibilities rather than limitations. It's an art form that welcomes integration. Jazz typically doesn't care what a person's ethnicity are, what age they are, what background, or even what instrument. Jazz as a musical form looks to bring together differences because it recognizes and knows that diversity breeds creativity. In 1959, trumpeter Miles Davis stepped into the studio with a group of musicians to record the Kind of Blue album. That particular album became and continues to be the best-selling album of all time. What is interesting about this album is that the musicians were provided the music for the recording upon arrival, much like we just did just now. There were no long, grueling rehearsals to prepare. There were no meetings to discuss and gain consensus about how the day would play out. And in spite of all of this, the day turned out to be an epic success. And I think there are several instructive elements that we can draw from jazz and from the example that I just gave you all. And the first is empathy. We each bring something to the stage, but when we care about what each of us is doing and listen to each other intently, we can make something beautiful and lasting. Secondly, we have to embrace uncertainty. To be a great jazz musician means you have the ability to be agile, that you are confident enough to follow your own curiosity and the curiosity of others. In jazz, risk can be taken because mistakes and failures are not destructive. And lastly, shared leadership. Once everyone understands the structure of melody and harmony, decision-making is decentralized and shared amongst the musicians. Now, I don't know about you guys, I just had a great time on the stage, and the best moments on the stage of jazz is when you're kind of pushing your own boundaries and pushing your limitations. I asked Dave what grade they were in, so I didn't just, he told me most of them were seniors, so I figured they were up to the task, even though we'd never talked. But when you leave that stage and you're here, most jazz musicians would say, let's do it again. And how often have you been in an encounter, in a church service, in a conversation where you were challenged to embrace change, challenged to listen beyond your normal capacity and said, let's do it again? But that's what jazz is about. Bruce Lee famously said, be like water. I'll end with this. I say, be like jazz. Listen carefully with big ears. Share leadership. And sometimes you need to plan to have no plan.
Glad that was recorded, because that is beautiful. That was so well said. Amazing. We're going to do a tune now called Come Ye Sinners, Poor and Needy. When I was recording these songs, I wanted to find some that were in minor keys. But Christians are so happy, everything's in major keys. So this is one that's in minor. It's a beautiful song, and we kind of made a sort of a open Latin feel. I don't know how to describe it, but you'll hear it, as they say in jazz. When you play jazz gigs, if you don't know the song, they just say to you, you'll hear it, and they start playing, and you have to try to follow it, but you'll hear it.
voices, who wondrous things have done, in whom his world rejoices, who from our mother's arms hath blessed us on our way with countless gifts of love, and still is ours today. Oh, may this boundless God through all our life be near us with ever joyful hearts, and blessed peace to cheer us and keep us in his grace, and guide us when perplexed, and free us from all ills in this world and the next. Do-do, do-do, dee-do, dee-do-do-do, ba-do-ba-do, dee-dee-do. We-do-do, da-do-ba-do, ba-do-do-do, ba-do-ba. Shoo-do-do-do, ba-do-do, wo. Ba-ba-ba-ba-do-do, dee. All praise and thanks to God, the Father now be given, the Son in him who reigns with them in highest heaven, the one eternal God, who earth and heaven adore, for thus it was, is now, and shall be evermore. All creatures of our God and King, lift up your voice and with us sing. Alleluia, alleluia. boats that sail in heaven along. Oh, sing ye Alleluia. Thou rising moon in praise rejoice. Ye lights of evening find a voice. Alleluia, 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 alleluia. Thou flowing water, pure and clear, make music for the Lord to hear. Alleluia, alleluia. Thou fire so masterful and bright, that givest us both warmth and light. Alleluia, 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 alleluia.
We have one more song for you all. This is an arrangement of Wayfaring Strangers. So hope you all like this.
I am a poor, wayfaring stranger while traveling through this world of woe. Yeah, there's no sickness, toil, nor danger in that bright world to which I go. I'm going there to see my mother. I'm going there, no more to roam. I'm only going over Jordan. Over Jordan.
George Rabbi on trumpet. Jason Brazovan on trombone. Jason Fetticelli. And Satchel Schwartz on drums. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you all.